Hey, guys, Arm here. Today, I am coming with the romance anime. Don't toy with me, Miss Nagatoro's Second Attack. This is definitely the hottest romance manga of January. The male protagonist, Naoto, is an ordinary high school student who never expected that he would become the prey of the school belle. As the relationship deepens, Naoto will have physical contact with the pretty girl every day. The more intimate the contact is, the more excited the girl becomes. But when he puts on stockings for her, she suddenly becomes shy. There will be a lot of blushing plots between the two youths. Will they eventually become a real couple? And how much more intimate will their behavior be? Let's find it out together. The story begins with Naoto reading his favorite romance manga. The heroine of the manga is often picked on by the student council president. It isn't until one day when she has evidence of the president cheating in the exam. Does the situation finally change? The heroine forces the president to obey her command, and there are many blushing plots ensuing between them. This familiar plot reminds Naoto of him and Nagatoro. The only difference is that Nagatoro doesn't need any evidence to easily control Naoto. Just as Naoto is troubled, Nagatoro shows up. She deliberately shows how she looks in uniform and loafers, but Naoto's attitude is very cold. After probing, Nagatoro discovers that Naoto is reading a romance manga. She has also seen this manga, and she loves the plot where the president is provoked to cry. Thinking of how Nagatoro treats him, which is much more excessive than the heroine of the manga, Naoto feels the plot is not an exaggeration. These words pique Nagatoro's interest, and she decides to experience the plots of the manga with Naoto. Nagatoro sprinkles water on her new loafers and asks Naoto to clean them up. Naoto dare not clean with his tongue like the president, so he takes out his handkerchief to wipe Nagatoro's shoes. After the cultural festival, Naoto meets Nagatoro on his way to school. Because it was always Nagatoro who approached him before, Naoto wants to try to initiate a talk with Nagatoro this time. But before he can act, he is discovered by Nagatoro. After learning Naoto's idea, Nagatoro thoughtfully shows him some pickup skills. First, pat him on the head. Second, poke him in the face. Third, step on his feet. Then, kick his ass. At last, hug him from behind. Nagatoro loves to hug him from behind, and even though she is feeling shy about it, she does not forget to tease Naoto. Unlike Nagatoro, Naoto looks a little lost. He wants to do the same to her, but he doesn't have the courage. As Naoto has been distracted by thinking of Nagatoro, he stumbles, which causes him to hug Nagatoro, and even touch her private part. Nagatoro is extremely shy and hurriedly gets rid of Naoto's hands. Just then, Naoto happens to meet Gamo and Yashi, who made a lot of money by selling merchandise at the school cultural festival. They are going to hold a party for it. Nagatoro learns the news and decides to go with Naoto. After class, Naoto comes to the art club to draw. Nagatoro is bored, so she accompanies Naoto. During then, Nagatoro suddenly feels cold as winter is coming. Luckily, she has prepared black stockings in advance. Meanwhile, Naoto is thinking about Nagatoro's beautiful legs and blushes. Nagatoro spots it and deliberately asks him to help her put on the stockings. Naoto does not dare to go against Nagatoro's wishes. He picks up the black stockings, forcing himself not to think too much. However, the touch of the calf is too soft for Naoto to control his facial expressions. As the vibe is getting tense, Nagatoro's resistance reaches the limit, and she hurriedly gets rid of Naoto. After putting on her stockings, Nagatoro asks Naoto what he thinks of it. Naoto is bashful, whispering it looks nice on her. Naoto and Nagatoro then participate in the party, which is held in a sushi cafeteria. As the only male, Naoto becomes the slave of the girls. Only Nagatoro notices Naoto's hard work and offers to fetch food for him. Because of their seats, Nagatoro has to be close to Naoto to get the sushi. Naoto almost touches Nagatoro's private part, thus feeling very nervous. Nagatoro then praises Naoto's performance during the cultural festival and asks everyone to respect Naoto. But when she sees Naoto being sought after by girls, she can't help but be a little jealous. To attract Naoto's attention, Nagatoro makes a dirty joke with sushi. Others don't think Nagatoro's joke is appropriate, thus giving no reaction to it. Naoto doesn't want Nagatoro to be embarrassed, so he not only eats her sushi, but also praises its deliciousness. With the help of Naoto, the atmosphere at the table is restored to harmony. Seeing the smile on Nagatoro's face, Naoto feels very satisfied. Right now, Naoto is drawing at the art club. He is not satisfied with his paintings as he has little inspiration. The president also discovers Naoto's problem, advising him to go out sketching instead of staying in the classroom all the time. Nagatoro often shows up in the art club, like a non-staff member. Therefore, the president gives Naoto 2 zoo tickets, asking him to go with Nagatoro, which is overheard by Nagatoro. Due to the pronunciation of Japanese, she misunderstands that the president wants her to have an intimate relationship with Naoto. Feeling very shy, after the president leaves, Nagatoro sees Naoto holding 2 zoo tickets. She searches the zoo online and finds it perfect for a date. Thinking of dating Naoto, Nagatoro blushes, but she pretends not to know anything and walks into the art club. Naoto asks Nagatoro if she likes animals and can draw them. Nagatoro is not good at drawing, but to match Naoto, she expresses her love for art. Naoto plucks up the courage and invites Nagatoro to the zoo with him. On the weekend, Naoto and Nagatoro meet at the zoo. Naoto gives Nagatoro the sketchbook he has prepared, wanting to sketch with her. Nagatoro realizes that she misunderstood the president's words, which meant to ask them to go to the zoo to sketch together, and had no other meaning. Upon entering the zoo, Nagatoro is immediately attracted to a variety of cute critters, while Naoto is immersed in drawing, sparing no attention to her. Nagatoro understands it, and she is willing to sketch with Naoto, but he must teach her how to draw well. Nagatoro deliberately asks Naoto to hold her hand and draw. Naoto does that, but he does not dare to look at Nagatoro, and quickly draws the outline of the animal. After the morning sketching, Nagatoro and Naoto come to the restaurant for lunch. Nagatoro thinks her drawing skills are still poor, but Naoto encourages her that she's gradually improving. Hearing this, Nagatoro is happy. She compliments Naoto's paintings and asks him about the trick for drawing. Naoto remembers what the president once said to him, that the most important thing for creation is love. Naoto feels shy to mention the word love to Nagatoro, so he explains that it is because he is interested in animals. While Nagatoro goes to the washroom, Naoto meets one of her male friends. Naoto suffers from face blindness, so he does not recognize the boy. Unexpectedly, the boy laughs at Nagatoro's painting, which makes Naoto very angry. When they are about to clash, Nagatoro returns. Her strong aura soon frightens the boy away from the restaurant. Naoto is ashamed and thinks he should have been stronger, but what he doesn't know is that Nagatoro has overheard him defending her. Nagatoro tells Naoto that he has done a good job. Before leaving the zoo, Naoto suggests drawing Nagatoro's favorite animal. Nagatoro then takes Naoto to the sloths area. She stands behind Naoto and draws his portrait. Naoto blushes when he sees her love for him in the portrait. After sketching, Naoto gains some inspiration. Nagatoro has made the art club her other home, where she often takes naps. This time, she drops her phone on the couch. Naoto discovers it and plans to return it to her. When Naoto tries to find Nagatoro in Senior 1, he realizes that he knows very little about Nagatoro, except for her surname Nagatoro. He doesn't know her given name, or her class. Just then, a girl asks Naoto who he is looking for. Because Nagatoro is very famous in her grade, the girl tells him about Nagatoro's class. However, Nagatoro is not in the classroom, and Naoto only sees her friends. He is afraid that they will tease him, hurriedly hiding in the cabinet. At this moment, Nagatoro returns to the classroom. Naoto hears them talking about the type of guys they like. When Nagatoro speaks, Naoto's heart beats very fast. Nagatoro says she likes the boy who can bring her pleasure, recalling the bits and pieces of their time together. Naoto feels touched. Unexpectedly, the girls quickly mention him. Naoto is so nervous that he accidentally makes a noise in the cabinet. Nagatoro opens the cabinet and sees Naoto hiding inside. Naoto takes the opportunity to return the phone to Nagatoro, and then he is taken out from the classroom by Nagatoro secretly as she doesn't want her friends to discover him. Nagatoro asks Naoto if he heard what she said. Naoto doesn't answer it and flees away. After the cell phone incident, Naoto begins preparing for the school marathon. On the day of the race, Nagatoro proposes to compete with Naoto to see who can run faster. While they joke with each other, the president overtakes them. Nagatoro develops a strong desire to win, and urges Naoto to catch up with the president. However, Naoto accidentally twists his ankle. He wants Nagatoro to go first, but Nagatoro refuses to abandon Naoto and insists on going with him. Naoto is touched, and he realizes that although Nagatoro likes to tease him, she has always cared about him. Nagatoro notices that Naoto seems to be painful on his ankle, offering to carry him on her back. At Nagatoro's urging, Naoto follows her instructions. Nagatoro has limited physical strength and soon feels exhausted, but she is very stubborn and refuses to let go of Naoto. At this moment, Nagatoro's friends catch up with her, carrying Naoto with Nagatoro to the finish line. Marathons are individual races where they end up being out for fouls. For a few days, Nagatoro has not come to Naoto. He is afraid that Nagatoro would lose interest in him. When meeting Gamo and Yashi, Naoto asks them about Nagatoro. It turns out that Nagatoro has been staying at home these days out of sickness. They give the homework to Naoto, asking him to take it to Nagatoro. For visiting Nagatoro, Naoto prepared a souvenir. He rings the doorbell, but no one responds. Worrying that Nagatoro would have fainted at home, Naoto breaks into the yard. Nagatoro's older sister, Misaki, mistakes Naoto for a pervert and calls the police. Naoto hurriedly explains that he is Nagatoro's senior, and he comes to give her homework. As the misunderstanding is resolved, Naoto finally gets into Nagatoro's home. Nagatoro is still sleeping, so Misaki and Naoto chat for a while. Her personality is very similar to Nagatoro, always joking with Naoto. Reminded by Misaki, Naoto realizes how special Nagatoro is to him. In the past, his world was only about painting. After Nagatoro appeared, his life took on a different color. At this time, Nagatoro wakes up. She didn't expect Naoto to suddenly come to visit her. Hurrying back to her room to change her clothes, Misaki prepares a dessert for them. She wants to chat with them, but Nagatoro rejects her. While eating dessert, Nagatoro deliberately offers to feed Naoto pudding. Naoto can't reject, but he never expected that Misaki would suddenly break into the room to tell Nagatoro that Naoto is fond of her. Nagatoro is concerned about what Misaki said. When Naoto wants to leave, Nagatoro keeps him under the pretext of playing games. If Naoto wins, she will tell him a secret. Nagatoro keeps asking Naoto what he wants to know about her. Under her questioning, Naoto voices his curiosity about Nagatoro, that he wants to know her specific name. Naoto wins the game, but he respects Nagatoro and doesn't want to get an answer in this way. Just then, Misaki calls out Nagatoro's name, ruining the atmosphere between them. Then, Naoto says goodbye to Nagatoro, and on his way back, he silently recites the name of Nagatoro. When Nagatoro returns to school, the first thing she does is to come to Naoto. She offers to be Naoto's model and immediately poses a kicking motion. Keeping the motion for a long time, Nagatoro accidentally falls to the ground. Naoto catches her, and the physical contact makes Nagatoro blush. She hides her shyness with a joke. Nagatoro is not yet aware of her feelings for Naoto. As before, she loves to joke with Naoto. When she bumps into him on the road, she deliberately tugs on his sleeve. This is a trick she learned on the internet. The action of pulling the sleeve is the most beckoning for guys. Naoto refuses to admit that he has a crush on Nagatoro and always avoids her hand. As Nagatoro has been teasing him, Naoto decides to take the initiative. He tries to tug on Nagatoro's sleeve, but accidentally grabs her hand. Their holding hands is seen by Nagatoro's friends. Though Nagatoro tries to explain that she is practicing taekwondo, none of her friends believe her. Perhaps infected by Nagatoro, Naoto soon gets a cold. When Nagatoro discovers that Naoto is not in the art club, she sends a message asking where he is. Learning about Naoto's illness, she hurriedly calls him, feeling guilty. Since Naoto's family are not home, Nagatoro decides to go to his house to take care of him. Naoto's situation is worse than expected. As Nagatoro can't find a thermometer, she checks his temperature by pressing her forehead to his. Naoto's face turns red, so Nagatoro thinks that Naoto has a fever. She asks him to drink more warm water and use his towels to cool him down. Naoto has an uneasy sleep because he dreams of Nagatoro. In the dream, Nagatoro is his wife staying by his side all the time. When Naoto wakes up and sees Nagatoro, he thinks he is still dreaming, straightly calling out Nagatoro's name. Nagatoro is surprised. As she tries to know more from Naoto, he falls asleep again. Looking at Naoto's sleeping face, Nagatoro suddenly feels like kissing him. At this time, Naoto's mother returns home. Nagatoro gets flustered. After saying hello to Naoto's mother, she leaves in a hurry. When Naoto gets up, his mother asks about his relationship with Nagatoro. Naoto explains that Nagatoro is just his junior, but when he thinks of her, he can't help but blush. On the way to school, Naoto meets Nagatoro because he called her name yesterday. Nagatoro does not know how to face him and just hits him a few times. While she is making a kick, Naoto grabs her leg. Nagatoro's friends happen to see it again. Panicked, Nagatoro explains that she is practicing taekwondo. Unfortunately, there's still no one believing her words. As Nagatoro and Naoto's relationship becomes closer, Christmas is coming. Nagatoro hasn't decided what to buy for Naoto as a Christmas gift. Misaki suggests that she choose a more practical item, so that when he uses the item, he will think of her. Nagatoro thinks it's a good idea and thanks Misaki. Meanwhile, Naoto is also looking forward to Nagatoro's Christmas present. He dreams of the scene of them spending Christmas together and gets blushed when he wakes up. On Christmas Eve, Gameo gathers all her single friends together. Since they don't have lovers, Gameo proposes that they can hang out together. Both Nagatoro and Naoto want to exchange gifts with each other. They find an excuse to secretly go to the art club. Just as they are about to exchange gifts, the president suddenly appears. The president is about to graduate and is enjoying her last time in the club. The school has been over for a long time, and most of the students remaining at school are couples. Therefore, the president suspects that Nagatoro and Naoto are dating at the art club. Nagatoro is very shy, pushing Naoto to run away. To avoid bumping into the director of education, they hide in the infirmary where embarrassingly, a couple is dating. Nagatoro and Naoto have to find somewhere else, but they still can't find a proper opportunity after going to several places. In the end, Naoto doesn't want to waste any more time, and he gives his gift to Nagatoro on the rooftop. They have a very tacit understanding as they happen to prepare the same gifts. They wear the scarves given by the other, feeling very happy. As the new year approaches, Nagatoro meets Naoto at the shrine where she is working part-time. Seeing her in the form of a priestess, Naoto is very impressed and touched. With Nagatoro's company, Naoto has a great time. When he is about to leave, he sees a reminder on the fortune sign that says "Do not wait passively." This quote inspires him. He wants to confess his feelings to Nagatoro, but doesn't know how to start it. In the end, he just says "I'm waiting for you," and quickly runs away. Nagatoro hurries to meet him. Naoto invites Nagatoro to visit the shrine together, where Nagatoro deliberately asks Naoto if he is making a wish to date her. Naoto tells Nagatoro that if he wants to be with Nagatoro, he will work on his own instead of relying on the power of the gods. After the visit, Nagatoro says that her wish is to become his wife, although she then explains that this is her lie. Naoto is still very impressed. Before they become closer to each other, Naoto has another trouble. Wearing myopic glasses all year round makes Naoto look dumb, so he tries to wear contact lenses, but as he can't tell the front and back, he always fails to put them on. He brings the contact lenses to school, which is soon discovered by Nagatoro. She is quite surprised. Curious about what Naoto would look like after removing his glasses, she offers to help him wear the contact lenses. Worrying that Nagatoro will hurt his eyes, Naoto feels very nervous. Anyway, he still sits close to her under Nagatoro's guidance, which makes him blush. With Nagatoro's help, Naoto finally has the contact lenses on. With no frames blocking his view, he finds Nagatoro looks even cuter. Nagatoro doesn't know what Naoto is thinking. She deliberately puts on Naoto's myopic glasses and imitates his usual movements. Her cute expressions impress Naoto a lot, and because of his shyness, he doesn't even dare to look at Nagatoro's face. On weekend, they attend a ski camp organized by the school. Naoto has been here last year and is eager to show off his handsomeness to Nagatoro while skiing, but actually, he is not very good at skiing and always falls in front of her. In contrast to him, Nagatoro is professional, which makes Naoto feel very humiliated and he doesn't want to keep skiing with her. When she offers to mentor him at night, he declines her offer. At night, Naoto comes to practice alone. He wants to improve his skiing skills secretly so that Nagatoro can see his coolness. Just as he is about to start, he notices an accident where a little boy is rushing toward a tree. He immediately grabs the little boy to help him avoid the crisis, but he never expected that he is also in danger. When Naoto is about to be hit by someone, Nagatoro passes by and protects him. She tells Naoto that she has witnessed him saving the little boy and thought he was very handsome. Naoto is surprised to see Nagatoro here, and when he sees the smile on her face, he can't help but want to ski with her. He feels the happiest when staying with Nagatoro, as he asks Nagatoro to continue mentoring him and she agrees. They spend a good time on the ski slope. After the ski camp, they return to school. While painting at the art club, Naoto learns that the president has been admitted to the art university. When she asks Naoto what university he wants to apply for, he firmly answers that he wants to be admitted to the Academy of Fine Arts. Hearing this, the president believes that influenced by Nagatoro, Naoto is much livelier than before, and has clear goals for the future. After the chat, Naoto suddenly realizes that though he has known Nagatoro for a year, he still has no idea about her past and her future plan. Therefore, we'll get to know more about Nagatoro from now on. On this day, when Naoto is peeking at Nagatoro, he gets discovered by her. He explains that he hasn't painted figures for a long time and wants her to be his model. After getting permission from Nagatoro, he asks her to strike the most natural pose. As Nagatoro changes several poses, Naoto thinks she is the most natural while presenting judo moves, but for some reason, Nagatoro is very resistant to judo. Later, when Gaimo sees Naoto's work, she thinks Nagatoro's pose is great and wants her to continue practicing judo. However, Nagatoro rejects her, which makes Naoto curious about why she doesn't want to practice judo. After school, Naoto comes to the judo club to practice, but he is so weak that every member of the club can easily defeat him. What frustrates him the most is that Nagatoro happens to see him being knocked down. Soon after, Naoto learns that a judo convention will be held at the school. He tries to share the news with Nagatoro, but she has fled away. Gaimo happens to meet Naoto while looking for Nagatoro. Since Naoto hasn't seen Nagatoro for a while, he is worried about her. He guesses that she probably has studied judo, and asks Gaimo to tell him the truth. However, Gaimo doesn't reveal the truth but suggests Naoto work out in the gym for the upcoming judo tournament. Since Naoto sees Nagatoro in the gym leaflet, he decides to give it a try. Soon after, Naoto meets Nagatoro at the gym. Based on her performance, he speculates that she is very good at judo. He also competed in the judo tournament last year, but did a really bad job. If possible, Naoto wants Nagatoro to train him, and she agrees to the request. Certainly, because of their large strength gap, Naoto is always suppressed by Nagatoro during the training, which makes him admire her more. After the training, he can't help but ask Nagatoro why she gave up judo. Nagatoro finally reveals to him that she used to love judo, but since she met an invincible opponent, she has lost interest in it. Naoto can tell Nagatoro is in a bad mood. To encourage her, he compliments her judo skills. His words make Nagatoro blush. Before the judo tournament, Naoto works hard every day because he wants to gain the victory once for Nagatoro. On the day of the competition, Nagatoro wins the first round with her outstanding judo skills. According to the arrangement, her opponent in the second round is a girl named Orihara, who turns out to be a backup player for the national judo team and is very strong. Nagatoro has known Orihara since she was a child and called her the invincible opponent. Before the second round, Orihara expresses her expectations to Nagatoro. She loves judo, and when she thinks of competing with Nagatoro again after such a long time, she gets quite excited. However, Nagatoro is not looking forward to their competition, and she feels very sad when she thinks about their past. Naoto doesn't know about Nagatoro's relationship with Orihara. He just wants to encourage her before the game starts. At this moment, Nagatoro tells Naoto that she was talented in judo and had won many awards since she was a child. In contrast to her, Orihara, instead of being talented, works hard. Though she had lost to Nagatoro many times, she improved her skills during the competitions. One day, Orihara finally defeated Nagatoro by an absolute advantage. Nagatoro was shocked, thinking that she would continue to lose to Orihara in the future. She no longer wanted to practice judo. In the end, Nagatoro gave up judo, while Orihara became an alternate for the national team. Until now, Nagatoro still doesn't think she'll be able to defeat Orihara. Naoto doesn't think that Nagatoro will throw in the towel easily. No one can predict the outcome of the game until it's over. He hopes that she can be encouraged because she is also quite strong. Touched by Naoto's words, Nagatoro makes a request to him. If he can overcome his opponent in the first round, she will also try to win against Orihara. Naoto doesn't have confidence in the game, but he's willing to work hard for her. Thin and weak, Naoto apparently has no advantage in judo, but when he thinks of Nagatoro, his body is filled with power. He recalls the techniques Nagatoro taught him, trying to suppress his opponent. Unfortunately, judo competitions will only last for 5 minutes. Without enough time, Naoto eventually loses the game. However, Nagatoro is still very surprised by Naoto's performance. She is infected by Naoto and decides to try to defeat Orihara. As the competition starts, Orihara gains support from most of the students out of her outstanding performance. Worrying that the situation is not going for Nagatoro, Naoto tries very hard to cheer for her. Encouraged by this, Nagatoro works hard to suppress Orihara. Although she still loses to Orihara in the end, she regains her interest in judo. After the match, Nagatoro vows to defeat Orihara in the future. While returning home, they make a pact. If she can defeat Orihara one day, she wants Naoto to kiss her as a reward. Naoto thinks Nagatoro is just teasing him, but she firmly states that she is not kidding. After saying this, Nagatoro runs away out of shyness. Naoto is fascinated by Nagatoro and always has her in his mind, even when he is about to draw. The first person that comes to his mind is Nagatoro. Therefore, when he meets Nagatoro, he asks her to be his model, and she agrees. But Naoto never expects that she will wear a one-piece swimsuit for modeling, and he feels quite shy to see it. As a model, Nagatoro needs to remain in one pose for a long time, so she feels very stiff. During the break, she asks Naoto to give her a massage. Faced with Nagatoro's hot figure, Naoto is very nervous, but he can only force himself to concentrate. After a simple massage, Nagatoro tells Naoto her decision. In order to kiss him, she will join the judo club and defeat Orihara. Just when Naoto doesn't know how to respond to Nagatoro, the president's cousin, Tsunemaya, shows up at the art club. Tsunemaya and Naoto were members of the same society in junior high school, where he helped her a lot while she studied fine arts. Coupled with her relationship with the president, she decides to join the art club to practice drawing with Naoto. Worrying that Tsunemaya may like Naoto, Nagatoro is very wary of her. But as she is about to go to the judo club to practice, she cannot keep observing Tsunemaya's behavior. Before Nagatoro leaves, Tsunemaya takes off her school uniform jacket and offers to work as Naoto's nude model, which shocks Nagatoro and she stops her immediately. Later at the judo club, Nagatoro has her mind absent because she is still worried about Tsunemaya and Naoto's condition. But in fact, Tsunemaya doesn't like Naoto. She has seen through Naoto's affection for Nagatoro and suggests that he bravely pursue Nagatoro and ask her for a date. At Tsunemaya's suggestion, Naoto comes to the judo club to wait for Nagatoro to return home with him. To initiate a date with Nagatoro, Naoto asks her where she likes to go on vacation. Nagatoro is an adventurous person. She wants to climb Mount Everest, go to the African savanna, and see penguins in Antarctica. Learning of it, Naoto is troubled because he just wants to go somewhere nearby with her. At this moment, Nagatoro realizes that Naoto is sounding out her preferences, and she immediately corrects herself, saying that there are also many interesting places nearby, asking him to guess her thoughts. But until they have to separate because of the different routes home, Naoto cannot figure out Nagatoro's thoughts. After parting with Nagatoro, Naoto comes across a penguin icon on the construction sign. Since Nagatoro loves penguins, Naoto decides to take her to the aquarium. This time, he plucks up the courage to catch up with Nagatoro and invites her on a date, to which Nagatoro surely agrees. However, when Gameo and Yashi accidentally learn about their date, these two evil girls secretly plan to sabotage it. Tsunemaya overhears their plans and fears that they will cause trouble to Naoto. On the day of the date, Naoto is very well dressed while Nagatoro is also full of expectations. But they don't know that there are girls from two different camps watching them. One camp is composed of Gameo and Yashi, who want to ruin this date, while the other includes Tsunemaya and the president, whose purpose is to stop Gameo and Yashi and protect Naoto's romance. In the aquarium, Naoto discovers the two camps that are following them. In order to get rid of them, Naoto flees with Nagatoro holding her hand. At this time, Tsunemaya and the president take the opportunity to stop Gameo and Yashi. After that, Naoto takes Nagatoro to the ice cream shop. Nagatoro asks Naoto to feed her ice cream, and Naoto feels very shy. During this time, their ice creams accidentally touch, and Naoto eats Nagatoro's ice cream, which means that they indirectly kissed, making his heart race. While watching the dolphin show, Naoto blocks the splashing water for Nagatoro, which makes her heart skip a beat. They have a very nice time in the aquarium. Nagatoro thinks it's a formal date and offers to kiss or hug Naoto. But just as Naoto is about to hug Nagatoro, a heated argument breaks out between the two camps that are following them. Nagatoro blushes when she finds them and lies that they are just practicing judo. After that, Tsunemaya specially prepares a bento for Naoto in order to apologize to him. Nagatoro doesn't want them to be so close, offering to help her deliver the bento to Naoto. Naoto worries that Nagatoro is very tired and decides to prepare a bento for her. After school, Nagatoro asks Naoto if he wants to finish the interrupted hug. This time, Naoto does not hesitate, and he hugs Nagatoro tight. Being hugged by Naoto, Nagatoro feels very warm. That brings the end of this anime. Nagatoro is a rare female main character with black skin in Japanese romance anime. More remarkably, she has been helping Naoto get rid of psychological trauma. In the second season, the relationship between Nagatoro and Naoto improves at a fast pace. During the time they spend together, they are increasingly in tune with each other. I think they must be the ones best suited to each other due to the complement to their characters. Well, today's video ends here. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. There are many recaps of interesting anime on my channel. Feel free to check it out. See you in my next video.